thing as we are here for the finals for the second week of Scrim Central tournaments. It's sort of the third Scrim Central tournament, but this is like the second big one, I guess, with 8 teams involved. We've gone all the way through a double elimination system, and it's been a good tournament so far. And the storyline of this one is actually pretty incredible, because Scrambled versus Ryu was literally the first series that these teams played against each other, and now they've met again in the finals. Ryu fighting all the way through the lower bracket, all the way through all the best of ones, and coming back strong here to try and take it 1-1 in the finals. They said that they're warmed up and ready to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can manage.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing to highlight, is that it's a mix-up of teams, is Ryu, with people from Scrim Central, 6 AM, 6 PM as well, and they're just ready to sort of play up and do what they can, and they've had all this time to get used to one another, try out strategies and see what works. And here we go with the triple tank lineup against a very dive-metric one, and
honestly, they're just going to run to the point. Exactly. They could just go and take the point pretty much immediately and force the enemy team to come to them. Deal with this Winston nice and quick. Down he goes. No problem there. Now they're going to start hunting down even more targets. They sounded out the dive comp expertly. Lucio goes down. No problem. Now it's just Genji dangerously low. Matic is a danger. Of course, he is on the high ground, but he is getting picked off now by the Genji. Does manage to take him down there. He's still on this high ground. The point is still contested. Has to drop down to actually finish off that contest. Down he goes. No problem. And this tanky lineup just muscled their way through and take the point in good time.
Sergeant Pitt made a massive mistake by using the barrier whilst he was still on the high ground. It was just really well played, like, oh, well, let's just get onto the point. And then Charlie flew up to the high ground that they were on, just got in their face, was like, you're not allowed to come through. And from there, all of the strategy went out of the window for Scrambled, and it was just frantically getting onto the point, and they gave it up so easily, and Mist is just allowed a little bit more freedom than what he's used to. Conqueror and Coney have a lot to deal with when it comes to this triple tank aggressor pseudo comp that they are running. Like, it seems to be working.
They're really sort of being opportunistic here. They're spotting out threats and trying to get rid of it. Conqueror gets a good dash there, pretty much through the entire team, gets a whole heap of ultimate charge, gets another one as well, cutting people apart with Coney dealing huge amounts of damage here. Does have Dragon Blade ready and available for the next fight. Of course, one of the disadvantages of how quickly they won there and how fragile the enemy team was they didn't come into this with any ultimates. Now they're even going for even more kills.
This is alright, frankly. Like, it's not been staggered too much. People are respawning together. Those kills weren't really necessary or important. They could have really bullied Kiro a little bit more then. But they have ultimate. Nana Blade seems pretty much ready. Pyro will have the ultimate just to maybe stall out the point, get people off it if they get close to completion. But when it comes to maybe a Grav self-destruct combo, that's going to be a while off yet, but they don't want to use too much at once. There's no mercy to stop this.
There goes the bomb in the background. Does get Kiro, so we'll pick up one kill in the back there. They have to be very careful about this constant collapsing on that Scrambled have been doing so far throughout this entire tournament, really just getting dive on the enemy team and counter-engaging as hard as they can. Conqueror gets herself a nice reset there, just gets some juicy kills, DMX the Diva. They're probably just going to leave her in mini Diva form so that she has to either find a way to respawn and get that mech back, or she has to try and build it up manually, which takes a long time. So Diva kind of just stuck now and has to plink away.
Yeah, Charlie won't want to switch off onto another character as well, because self-destruct must be well within 2/3 of completion. Not wanting to invest too much, but yeah, it's really well played with how Scrambled are holding on to this point here. They're now starting to find their feet, and Mist is going to run into a few more problems, but ultimates need to be used flat out, and it looks like this is
Type Blazer coming out from Matic. He's getting really pushed back at the moment. Dragon Blade's coming out on both sides at the moment. Conqueror getting the better of the first kills. Matic now getting even more on the point. Gets a cheeky spray off in the meantime. Mist not finding what he needs as the kill feed fills up with blue, and Scrambled hold on to the point for that much longer. Holy moly.
Self-destruct is ready, Nana Boost is ready as well. Grav as well, which is a huge one, but we are seeing Transcendence by Schwarzer near enough ready. Conqueror and Matic, combination of those two ults, just managed to see everybody out. I think Charlie is going to have a tricky time sort of being able to deal with damage coming from all fronts, and it's going to take some really difficult play to break this point, and much like we see in the pro scene as well, second point Temple of Anubis can be a nightmare to try and take.
We have a Hanzo swap, ladies and gentlemen, so Miss going off the Genji instead, maybe trying to delete that Tracer as fast as he can. She spots him out, does manage to blink one arrow, gets the headshot though, deleted there. Tracer gone, no longer a factor. Schwarzer dropping the Transcendence just to keep that alive. Charlie, though, is one to watch here as the self-destruct does go in around the corner. Immortal Pyro picks up a double kill. This gets another one. And they are on the point. 2 ticks currently on the ball right now. Just trying to get rid of Conqueror. Does manage to knock him off at the moment. Gets him before the health pack respawns. Barely in time now. He's just waiting for that boost. There's the point. It's just ticking up. It's just missed on the point. And he just takes the point. I was expecting reinforcements to get in, but they didn't.
Charlie and Pyro went off to do other things. I'm not quite sure what they were trying to do.
Charlie got rid of the Genji, managed to push him off with the Diva boop, and then sort of got stuck down below waiting for the boosters to recharge. Not sure on anyone else, though.
But Mist was just allowed all that. I didn't really expect the Hanzo to be such a instant response almost, but he does look like he's going to pick McCree for this next round, which either could be the choice that he actually makes, or he might want to play something else entirely. Probably wants to shut down Coney with the Tracer for sure. But I do think that he's probably better suited to a Hanzo or a Genji in particular, as this team doesn't really have any mobility to get onto the high ground if they lose it.
The question is, though, will Scramble vary? We've seen it time and time again that Scramble running this triple DPS dive comp. This is, if they've practiced at all, this is what they have practiced and this is what they are going for. This is the playstyle that they are most comfortable with. And Miss on the McCree, honestly, I think works wonderfully because it shots. We saw it before with Faddy. Well, I want to say Faddy, but it's not Faddy. We saw it last time, though, with Timeless, where the McCree swap just had such instant results, basically, and just instantly started making problems for the Tracer, for the Genji, slowing down the approach and making sure that it was very difficult to work. I imagine Charlie, as well, with his beautiful fat piggy spray, will be doing a huge amount of work here, and they could just annihilate this Winston, for example, because they have no Zarya to stop the Roadhog being so effective.
The potential is there for sure. It's just very eggs in one basket, really, when it comes to having Death Ball with the McCree and the Roadhog, when you have Pyro on the high ground, not really being able to Reinhardt and shield the team in particular. So long as he responds a lot quicker than Cedric Pie did on defense, you should have a much better time with dealing with it instead of just sitting on the ground and letting him buy. I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. They're going low ground, going to try and go for the high ground. Pyro really wants to be diving on this. He does so indeed, puts down the shield.
Stunned.
He's going to be zapping people to death.
Instantly by the McCree as well, just slowing down that push. Charlie comes in, gets an easy hook. Immortal Pyro now has a free time, sort of just going into the background. We do see Coney get onto the point. Miss is just there on the McCree. Dropping dangerously low, it does force the Tracer's recall, though. She's just forced to run away. Goes down to the heal grenade, and that's an easy clean up there. Trying to sprint through against this team when they have so many ways of slowing you down is going to be so much harder as well, especially if you're going to try and go a route that they can easily move to. Headshot comes out of the McCree, almost gets Soul 76, but not quite finishing him off there.
That's pretty much the way that the cookie crumbles. I'm just double checking something real quick that the fact that Scrambled are 1-0 up already, that is true. Yep, that's fine. Yep. Just checking that everything was set because this is the first map you can do the second game.
Coney gets the shot as well, just goes down, no problem. I can explain why they are 1-0 up already, no problem. After this push is done, Conqueror can't quite get out, gets shot in the back by the McCree. We've got 2 people stuck on sort of the high ground right now. Soldier 76 is up there, feeling pretty good. He has Visor, but he's going to be scared about using it. They do have a Lucio there to keep them alive, but reinforcements are starting to come in. If he gets his Visor out, it could be absolutely huge, and they don't have anything to really contest him up here. It's Cyberpunk just trying to sprint up, and they can't dislodge him.
This is the thing I wanted to highlight. They could just sit up there and spend all the time. The hook gets used every 8 seconds, but other than that, there's nothing to contest. Mataku is just going to shoot from the high ground, other than the Winston that has had to use the lead to get onto the point and to contest it. He's going to go down in a second, and that looks like the first point. This is the issue. We're not running a Diva or a Genji or a Pharah, anything like that. Is that if they're on the high ground and you're not, you have no way to get up to them.
Yep. So just to explain as well why Scrambled are 1-0 up, it's because they came through the upper bracket, so they haven't dropped a series so far in the tournament. As such, they have a slight advantage in the winners final, or in the grand final, basically, against the team that came through the losers bracket earlier. So that's just why that's worked. Good sleep dart on the way in, that will slow the push down a little bit. Conqueror, though, will just wait it out. Does have Dragon Blade available. They did have to use Visor sort of on their push in, and there are a lot of ultimates available on the defense as well. Mercy, though, instantly spotted out. She's just stood in the middle of the team there. High noon coming up from Mr. Animus. Spots out 1 or 2. Doesn't manage to get the kill, though. Almost gets rid of the Winston. Does manage to finally delete him. Tracer now duking around. Drops dangerously low. Almost goes down. 1 health left on Miss. Down that goes. Down that dream goes now. Passing to the RS on the point. Just keeping that alive a little bit longer, but it might be too little too late, as I think Immortal Pyro is going to start cleaning up here on the Winston. Can't quite chase down the Zenyatta, but they hold the point that little bit longer and will hold it without losing a single third so far.
Yeah, it's going to chase Conqueror, which is a bit of a shame really when I think Schwarzer was going to be a much more solid pick to take down, but instead opts to go down the left-hand route really. Tracer...
Conqueror goes down instantly. Big loss.
Tracer's on the flank ready to pulse bomb, I think. Nowhere near, not quite, but just wanted to get some trickling damage. Pyro is discarded, he's going to take a lot of damage, but he seems to be melting people along with Charlie, who is just really sort of nailed the left click, right click, one-shot capabilities, and he's just going to sit in the corner. He's going to sit and think what he's done.
Sit in the corner and think about what you've done. I'm glad I'm not the only person who had to suffer that as a child. Is either sit in the corner and think about what you've done, or sit and face the door, or sit and face the radiator if I've been naughty. And just do that for like 10 minutes straight and it'll drive me insane. Anyway, Matic going to be ready to go with Attack Visor, but they don't have too much else available just yet. Tracer almost good to go. Matic trying to get into position, but they're doing a good job of keeping him pressured, and just drops instantly to miss.
Instantly down. Still his ultimate though.
Yep, wasn't quite long enough to make that a problem right now. We do see the Winston trying to dive into the backline, but he's just going to get shut down instantly. Tracer does get a pulse bomb in, but does get killed for a trouble by McCree, and again, this McCree is just slowing them down so much, causing so many problems on the entry. The burst damage is absolutely stellar, and Mr. Anonymous is doing so much good work on it.
Yeah, Charlie as well is just being an absolute monster to move, along with Jimmy. The triple tank is really good at that, of just allowing Kiro easy healing, Saltwater as well, who will just have Resurrection ready for days with the amount of healing that she could do. And all ultimates ready for the defending team now, whereas not many options solidly for Scrambled, and there's no nano anything because they're running a Zen, meaning that their offensive capabilities are somewhat inhibited by this.
And they're going through the side choke, but Jimmy's going to be licking his lips and just waiting here. The bubble's already been dropped as well. The deflect goes down. Jimmy can get the world's easiest Graviton Search here. I think he's hungry for it right now. If he goes down early, that could be a big problem. There it is. Sights goes out. High Noon is ready though. Deadeye gets him. Charlie gets nano boosted as well. There's a whole hog coming out, pushing everything back, and that push is done like dinner. Coney manages to pick up an exit kill.
Cody, yes.
He's looking for even more. He's trying to fight Jimmy. He's got Conqueror with him as well. 2 tanks versus 2 juking DPS. But of course, this is Temple of Anubis, ladies and gentlemen. And the respawns are already coming back. Coney and Conqueror have to run away, have to be very careful, and have to just concede the point for now. Still haven't managed to get anything on the board so far.
Doesn't look like they're going to at this rate. They do have ultimates ready. Matic kind of wasted his ultimate when thrown in the ground. Just accepted his accepted his fate. But Coney is ready with the pulse bomb. Conqueror is ready with the blade as well. But other than that, a bit low.
Conqueror gets caught out by the flashbang though, goes a little bit too far in, and that's going to be a big loss there. They don't have the Dragon Blade to hunt down the Mercy who has res. They were doing a good job of isolating and spotting out the supports, but they just can't do anything more with it. Now they're forced into an awkward position where they're running for their lives, trying to get out. They managed to get Immortal Pyro, but they still can't really act off the back of this. They're forced to run away and try and regroup and wait for reinforcements. And of course, during that time, Immortal Pyro is going to be back and ready to go.
Yeah, the problem with running Zen in favour of a Mercy or an Ana in particular is just when you've run out of that snowball and you can't make use out of it when it comes to dictating play, you don't really have much else to offer apart from discarded targets. But Temple of Anubis is a cluttered point. Sightlines are very scarce, and for that reason I do think Ana would have been a much more solid pick just to boost either the Nano Visor, the Nano Blade, or even Sergeant Pie on the Winston. Schwarzer might want to consider his picks here because nothing looks like it's going to happen.
High Noon coming out by Miss. Miss gets deleted though, gets the bomb on him in fact. Charlie now looking for kills, almost gets rid of Matic. Matic chased off the point. Coney has to be very careful. Rez comes out picking people up. Sound Barrier coming in to keep people alive a little bit longer. Coney, Conqueror even going out with the Dragon Blade trying to get a couple of kills. Matic gets himself one on the Mercy. Anna now going down to that Dragon Blade. This is the best shout they've had so far. Jimmy dropping dangerously low. Also Immortal Pyro getting killed off there. Conqueror finally scooping out the kills, but reinforcements are coming in. There's still plenty of time to contest. Astronomus comes out onto the point trying to buy a little bit of time. Lucian out on the point as well. Again, reinforcements can still come out. They're definitely playing to stall now as half of it does tick up. Anna gets onto the point, does throw down the hill grenade. I'm surprised we're not seeing more changes here. We do see Charlie get onto the point as well. Tranquility comes out just to buy a little bit of time, but Charlie's not going to be easy to take out now, and he does have a whole hog available. Will start knocking people off the point, and this could be enough here. One goes down, does get taken out by Conqueror though. Coney does have pulse bomb ready. Can they find the target? Good tracking there, takes down the Lucio, and they might have just done it, but it's still being contested. They still haven't got rid of everything on the point. It's still just ticking up right now. Pulse bomb goes out, doesn't quite find anything. They've finally taken it with 1 minute pretty much on the dot, ladies and gentlemen. But holy moly, they made hard work of that.
Yeah, the pulse bomb was really good at the start of that push just to take up Mist from the fight, and then from then on out there wasn't really... The res was used, and then from there Conqueror started to use ultimates to pick people out. It seemed like we saw this earlier as well A lot of people waiting for the res to come out and then using the grab and then using the blade and to finish stuff off. They could have probably done it a lot sooner, but they wanted to make sure that the res did get used in the end. So I think only brought back Mist, so it was a bit of a misplay by them. They didn't honestly need to use it. They were sitting pretty for quite some time up until then. But after the solo or even like duo res, whichever one it may have been, Conqueror just dropped the blade, finished off anybody else that was resed and went down there and could just easily take the point. And as you said, there wasn't a Diva that was brought out, there wasn't a Mei, there wasn't any Sombra, Reaper, anything to stall at the point as long as they could. They just kept the same and just tried to hope that they could kill people off the point, which just wasn't looking likely.
That was the big surprise to me, the fact that we didn't see the Diva, we didn't see the Mei, we didn't see the Tracer, we didn't see like the standard stall comps, because that honestly could have really made a difference.
It seemed a bit cocky for me. It was like, oh, we can keep the point with the heroes that we've got and the ultimates we still have. Whereas they didn't know that the point was just bound to be taken. They could have easily left that into overtime if they changed stuff around, just with the amount of stall capabilities, but they didn't take it for whatever reason, and now they want to make sure that they can set a decent time with their defense as well.
We do see a little bit of a
second
change
round of stuff
coming in as well. Miss going onto the Hanzo. They get a good hook onto one. Also, Sleep Dart goes onto Soldier 76, and Matic not going to be able to do too much here. The Hanzo also able to contest the high ground as they're starting to look for kills. There goes the Zenyatta, instantly picked off there. Let's see what Matic's up to, as he actually hasn't managed to make his way all the way around yet. They're still sort of fighting around in this little area there. Finally, Coney gets rid of one person there. The Mercy goes down. Charlie also dangerously vulnerable, actually. Still standing out in the open there. Might go down in good time. And Miss is just scooping up kills left, right, and center, ladies and gents. The Hanzo picking up all the damage and getting all the kills.
Yeah, Pyro's doing a really good job as well of just being in the right place at the right time, just making sure that kills get confirmed. It's a great thing that Winston's good at. But a lot has to be said by the healers. It's one of those things, much like being an editor or anything particular. If you don't notice the healer's job, then they're doing a very good job if people are getting healed up constantly.
Winston could be going down. If he goes down, it's a big loss. That said, we do see Conqueror get himself one kill. He might be getting a second as well. Might have Dragon Blade available at any second now. There we go. He does have it. He does have Mercy in the site as well. We'll go for it. And we also see the Tac Visor coming out as well. But the tanks are still there. Charlie's still there. Winston's still there. And it's enough to clean up and enough to hold the point. And that isn't even 33%, ladies and gentlemen. So they only have to get 1/3. And they have 4 minutes to do it, which is, well, 4 minutes, 5 seconds, which is 5 seconds more than you normally have.
Yeah, Mist just clearing up there as well, and as I said, really good play by Pyro, who honestly for me has been the MVP, leading the line, so to speak, for Ryu in particular. Mist has just been performing as good as he ever has, but Pyro really has taken the role of a main tank and both been effective on Winston and on Reinhardt as well. Really, everything's coming together quite nicely. Jimmy and Charlie have been consistently grand. As I just said, the supports have been near enough silent, which goes to show that they have been doing tremendously well, considering we haven't really picked on them at all. So it's looking really good. Considering how well Scrambled played against the likes of Timeless that we saw, they look like a completely different team now when up against this composition that we're seeing Ryu play.
It feels like, again, Ryu are playing to Scramble's weaknesses, right? Like running stuff like the McCree and running stuff like the Hanzo as well. If you have a competent Hanzo player, dealing with stuff like Tracer or Genji isn't necessarily that difficult. And especially when you don't have that many tanks in your way, there's just the Winston, where you're running into like the Roadhog Hanzo combo. That's more than enough to annihilate a Winston pretty much instantaneously. So they're prepared, they understand how to beat and exploit the weaknesses of their opponents, and they're sort of paying the price for it right now. I mean, we see them still running the same comp that they've had problems with before. And is this a team lineup that could actually hold for the full time? Looks like the stream is lagging, which is probably on my end. Yes, it is. Which is unfortunate. Hopefully it might bounce back a little bit. We will keep it going. There will be high quality VODs on that. Anyway, we see Miss go right for the high ground as well. Everyone is pretty much caught up there, but Mortal Pyro gets a lot of early damage done as well, and they're pretty much onto the point instantly. They only have to get 1/3. We do see Matic get blown away as well. Everyone's dropping dangerously low. That lag is on my end. I apologize dearly for it. I'll try and fix it in a second, as it looks like they're finally managing to hold on. Winston coming big and getting a bunch of kills there.
Yeah, we saw this actually from Ryu at the same time when we saw them play against... Who did they play?
Timeless?
No, it was the Route 66 game. Comp Alpha, I think it was.
No, it would have been Comp Alpha. It would have been... I can't remember.
I think it was Comp Alpha. No, Shattered, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shattered. Where they haven't decided whether they want to fight the players or they want to try and take the point, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Now they're going to try and fight the players, take the high ground, and then get the point themselves, which is the order that they should really be doing it in.
Oh my
Conqueror
lord.
and also Ryu do both go down. Cody gets picked on Pyro, but that doesn't seem really enough to deal with. Supports are both down,
Maddox
people
down.
start to melt,
Yep.
the point is looking thin from Scrambled's perspective.
Now, like here on the stream, he might have been a spot or two of it, but I've adjusted the bitrate slightly. He should be okay right now. But Mr. Animus cleans up on the point. Charlie sends a self-destruct out as well, just to catch anyone trying to come back. Someone has managed to get back to contest. It looks like 2 people have Conqueror and Old Switcheroo on the Lucio coming in, but not doing enough there with the Old Switcheroo. Charlie runs someone down. Matic comes in, but it's too little too late. The 1/3 does get ticked up there, and the point is taken. Ryu brings it back. 1-1 now, evening things up here in the best of 5, making it a best of 3 series.